Hello. How nice it is to see a friendly face.
Elden Ring is a game filled with enough content that can last you hundreds of hours. And when a game has so much content, it's only natural that there are so many secrets and discoveries that you must have missed on your first or even subsequent playthroughs. That's what we're going to look at today. Here are the most interesting Elden Ring secret discoveries that you've probably missed. Number 10. Golden leaves boost runes gains throughout the world of Elden Ring. You'll find golden leaves falling around. It's easy to miss this detail, but these petals boost the speed at which you'll gain runes, illuminating a golden light around your character. Additionally, if you share the same password to enable co-op in the game, you'll receive boosted runes gains every time someone in your group defeats a shard bearer or completes the game. So, next time, keep these things in mind and make use of this boost by killing as many enemies as you can. Number 9. Weather has an effect on resistances. It's easy to get lost in the game's beauty and not think anything beyond a visual standpoint about things like rain in Elden Ring. But what most players don't realize is that these weather changes in the game affect your character's resistance to things, both positively and negatively. For example, your character will have increased fire resistance when they are under rain. However, since water is a conductor of electricity, it decreases your resistance to lightning in the game, and you get a lot more damage than usual when hit by it. Lastly, it affects your spell damage too in the same way. Number 8. Mounting your horse gives you a short window of invincibility. You gain a few frames of invulnerability every time you mount Torrent using the Steed Whistle. It's a very quick animation, so you can't spam it that much to avoid damage. However, sometimes you realize that you're about to be killed, especially if you fought and lost to a certain boss before. So whenever that happens, you can use the Speed Whistle to mount Torrent and quickly avoid a fatal blow that would have otherwise killed you. Number 7. Weapon arts can be used as an evasive maneuver. Ever get stuck in lava or poison swamps and have to take a lot of damage while slowly walking out of it? There's a better way of avoiding this problem, and it's an all-time favorite technique for speedrunners. You can use the Quick Step weapon arts and the Bloodhound Step, both which allow the players to do a little hop and/or teleport. If you use these normally, they are inferior to sprinting since they consume FP. But for the specific lava and swamp situation that we mentioned, this is a great way to quickly hop out of that mess without having to lose too much health. Number 6. You can escape grab attacks quicker. This feature has been present in Souls games for a long time, but it's something that not everyone knows. Since Elden Ring is a spiritual successor to Souls games, it's no surprise that this feature came back again. Every time you're grabbed, if you mash the action buttons, your character might break free. The easiest buttons for this task happen to be the triggers, since your fingers can press them rapidly in succession. This won't break the grab right away like a fighting game, but if the enemy has a grab attack that has several bits of animation that deals separate damage, your character might end up escaping before additional damage is dealt after the first hit. Number 5. Rolling is not always a good idea. Rolling is one of the most prominent mechanics of the Souls games, and it's very useful in most combat-based situations in Elden Ring too. But we're gamers, and if a game lets us feel like we're saving a second in our travel, we will do it. Whether it's jumping, rolling, or dashing, it's tempting to use that to travel quicker than walking or running. In Elden Ring, that's not always a good idea. If you're walking through something like poisonous swamps filled with scarlet rot, it sucks to walk through them as you gain damage, so rolling seems like a good idea, right?
No!
Well, it's not. The more you roll, the more your character will get covered in poison. What could have been just your feet is now your entire body, and that means much more damage than what you'd usually gain. So either have patience and walk through it, or just use the weapon arts we spoke of in number 7 to quick-step your way out of it. Number 4. Extra takedown animations. For most games, it's not a big deal for players to discover unique ways to kill enemies. However, Elden Ring is an unforgiving game, and there are many different ways to kill certain enemies that players might never find at all due to their individual playstyles. One particularly rare animation is found in regions like Khalid and the path to Raya Lucaria. The fire and poison spewing head chariots can be stuck around easily. But why stop there? If you manage to find higher ground and then leap on top of these chariots, you can stab the hole that spews fire with your sword and cause it to explode, killing both itself and the person manning it at the same time. It looks cool, and is an animation that most people will not get to see in their playthroughs. You like our content, right? Smash that like button and help this video explode! Number 3. Latenna the Albinauric can ride wolves. Latenna is a great spirit ashes summon that's quite unique compared to many of the others. Not only can she be easily missed since the dungeon she's found in is a secret, she has a questline afterwards too. What makes her particularly interesting is that she has no legs even as a spirit, so she sits down and fires her arrows from a distance. One thing not many people know is that if you summon her next to a wolf, she sometimes mounts them. And not just that, the wolf transforms into a mobile archer with new attacks. Number 2. Healing can hurt cursed enemies. Healing always looks cool and even has AoE versions of the incantation, but it usually does not do anything besides regenerating your health. And that's what most players believe since they usually don't experiment with it too much. However, cursed enemies actually take damage if you use healing spells with them close to you. All you need to do is to fight a cursed enemy and then use a healing incantation. This will injure them and give you a direct advantage in the battle. It's always good to know these little details because they can make all the difference in an intense fight where you might be losing. Number 1. The hidden wall that takes 50 hits. Everyone knows that every Souls game, including Elden Ring, has hidden walls that players need to strike in order to reveal the room that's hiding behind them. So it's natural for players to strike walls in Elden Ring hoping to find secret entrances. And sometimes it even works. But there's one wall in the Volcano Mansion that needs to be struck not once, not twice, and not even 10 times. It has to be struck 50 times in total for you to finally find your way inside. It's hard to think about who was bored enough to try to open the wall 50 times, but it surely works, and players have been very surprised. Whether it's a good idea for you to hit random walls 50 times now to discover more secrets like this, we'll leave that for you to decide. Check out this video. It's specially selected for you. You'll like it.